Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Seeking Spirits podcast. My name is Lexi, and this is my brother, Nick.
What's up?
And you might also know me as my other name, Lexi DIY, on all of the social platforms, and you might know my brother as Nunziiii.
You probably don't.
Well, yeah, so we're really excited to be doing this podcast, and we've never really done a podcast before. So it's going to be it's going to be a big learning curve. And so just stick with us. Let us know what you guys want to see. But just a brief background on each of us individually. So I do content creation full time, mainly on TikTok. But I am also here on YouTube if you happen to be watching on YouTube and, Instagram, Facebook, all the places.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single place.
Every single place. And I renovate my hot mess lake house. So that's what I do for a living. It's pretty fun. It's never dull. And Nick, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Nick, Nunziiii, some people call me. I work at a hotel. That's all I do. But I do love the paranormal. I watch obnoxious amount of paranormal content, all the TV shows, all the YouTube channels. It's like my obsession. So I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm a little bit more nervous about it. So I'm very interested in the paranormal. Yeah. I love this stuff, but I am a little bit of a scaredy cat.
I'm going to try not to be. I'm going to try and be the one to go into the danger, but...
Yeah, I guess we'll see how this turns out. Yeah. So we want to kind of preface why we decided to start this podcast. It's going to get a little dark.
Little dark in here. Just a
little dark.
Tiny bit.
So our dad died. I'm sorry.
DDC.
Yeah, that's the Dead Dad Club. Listen, we cope with dark humor.
That's the only way we know how.
Yeah. So, sorry if that's offensive, but it's just how we cope. Yeah. So, sorry if you're a part of that club.
Yeah, it's not a fun club to be in. It's just
Yeah.
It's how we get through it. So.
Yeah. And we just kind of it kind of jump-started this, what happens after we die? Yeah. Because our dad's death was, extremely sudden. And
super out of nowhere.
Yeah, totally out of nowhere. And maybe we'll touch more on that in a different episode, but... Yeah. And it was very startling. And so, obviously family is so important. And so we wanted to do something together. Exactly. Yeah. And, then we were like, let's do this podcast. Yeah. But it's not only a podcast. So we want to preface, this is kind of a mixture of a channel.
It's a hybrid, if you will.
It is. It's a hybrid channel. So there will be sit-down podcasts such as this. But, Nick, you want to tell them what else we're doing?
We're also going to be doing paranormal investigations at locations. And before those investigations, we're going to do a podcast at the location. Literally in the location, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah. I don't think, I'm not as enveloped in the space as you are, but to my knowledge, I don't think there is a podcast that runs like that.
I haven't seen one. No, I'm kind of just scratching the surface of the YouTube space. I know all the TV shows, but I watch a lot of, there's probably a handful of YouTube channels I watch religiously about it. But I haven't seen one that does an actual podcast in the place. So that'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, so we don't know what these mics will pick up inside of these paranormal spaces, but we're also going to dive into kind of not the history necessarily.
Not super hardcore history, but
but
we'll touch on it. We'll touch on it for sure. More about the history of the paranormal things that happen there. I'm going to be doing a lot of research on like I said, I watch all the shows, so everything that I've ever seen happen at the location that we're at, we're going to talk about. So
yeah, and then we'll see what our experience compares to.
Yeah.
So if a lot of people, when they go to these different locations, they experience similar things because there's, you know, similar spirits or like the same spirit that they're interacting with. And maybe that's how they like to communicate. So I guess it will be interesting to compare.
Yeah. And that's kind of like a cool way to like solidify people's experiences. Like when people have similar experiences, it's like, it feels more important because it's not like this is like, oh, this could have been like a one-off thing. It's like, no, this happens to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it'll be cool to go over all that and then just see if it happens to us there.
Yeah. So. I'm a little scared.
She is.
We are actually going to be going and filming our first paranormal investigation today.
Tonight. Yep. I am so hyped. We're not going to spoil it for you and let you know where the location is. We're not going to tell you guys that until the podcast at the location. So
yeah, so stay tuned for that. But in addition to talking about these, you know, different paranormal places, we hope to do some podcast interviewing some people in the paranormal space.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah, maybe some other paranormal social media people or people who have been on TV shows, like or just people who are really like highly respected in the space, because we're just trying to learn.
Yeah, we want to soak up as much knowledge as we can. We're pretty novice when it comes to actually being paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
We've only been to like one place.
Yeah, but
it's a badass place. Okay.
Yeah, we went to Waverly Hills Sanatorium actually with our dad.
Yeah, actually, which is kind of part of the reason it's kind of all, you know, coming full circle, because he actually went in there being like, oh, this is bullshit.
Yeah, and he was like, no, there's not going to be anything.
Nothing's going to happen here. 5 minutes in, he's like, did you see that?
He's like, oh my gosh. So it was kind of like a transformative experience for him.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And it was really cool. So, I mean, that deserves its whole own episode, and hopefully we'll get the opportunity to go back.
I really hope, because that place is amazing. It drew me in. I actually did go back.
You did. You went back the next night.
We went for 4 hours the first night, and then I turned around and was like, I'm going straight back, and I went back for 8 hours the next night. And then did you come the next time we went? I went with JM one more time.
I can't. No,
I don't think you went. So I even flew back and went another time and went another 8 hours. So I was in there for 20 hours. You were in there for 4, and it was,
well, I went to the University of Louisville, so it's right there in Louisville, Kentucky. And so I went for some of their other, you know.
Their haunted houses and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I never the haunted house, because I feel like.
I'm not a fan of those.
I'm not, because it's like, yo, this place is already scary enough on its own. I do not need people.
We don't need the fake scary. The real scary's here, and it's way scarier.
Yeah, so I was like, no. But we did like the walkthrough guided tours and stuff like that, and we've attended some events there. So, I mean, a lot of experience with Waverly, which is a really scary place to jump in.
It's supposed to be the most haunted hospital in America. A lot of people say that, so. It is the biggest tuberculosis hospital too, but yeah, like we'll get into that more on it. Like we could talk about that for hours. So
for sure. And we're also hoping that you guys will share some of your paranormal experiences with us, especially if you guys have paranormal experiences about places that we are going to. You know, you see that podcast go up where we're filming in the location, and then the next week will probably be like, you know, our vlog to going there, going through, learning the history, and then the actual investigation after that. So we would love to hear if you guys have any experiences at these places, so that we can kind of like match it up and see, you know, how cool would it be to get a comment and be like, oh my gosh, that literally happened.
It's like really validating. I think it would be cool for everyone.
For sure. And we hope to kind of like maybe even take calls.
Yeah, at some point. I mean, we're kind of open to how this turns out. We have like a loose idea of what we want to do, but like we're open to suggestions and, you know, anything you guys, you know, think would be cool. Just let us know, and we'll definitely like look into all of it, because we're just kind of going as we go, you know?
We're just trying to have fun and do something together. Yeah. And so it should be really interesting. Also, fun fact, I live in New Jersey, and Nick lives in South Carolina.
It's hell.
Sorry. No offense to the South Carolina.
I'm just not
it's not for him.
It's not for me. But.
Yeah.
So I had to fly up here. I actually just flew in yesterday.
Yeah. So there will be half of the podcast will probably be in this backdrop, and then I guess we got to make one at my mom's house.
Yeah, when you like come fly in and visit, and we'll do them there, and every once in a while, I mean, we might even have to do one digitally. I mean, every once in a while, we're gonna try to not do that, but
So, you know, should be super interesting, and we're really excited about it.
I'm so pumped.
I'm really scared, but I mean, I'm excited, but like, you know, not to like go back to the Waverly thing, but Dad had to like coerce me into doing that. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, we'll go to the animal shelter tomorrow. Like, we'll go adopt you a dog." That man was not going to adopt me.
We already paid for this. We're going.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," like freaking out. But like, yeah, it was fine. I mean, I'm an adult now. I'm fine.
Grown up. That was a couple of years ago, so.
I mean, yeah, technically I was an adult then.
That's funny.
So, yeah, I don't really know.
You're going to be okay.
Yeah, and also...
You got Dustin here.
Yes, I was just about to say, Dustin is also in the room with us.
Yeah.
He's going to be in pretty much every video, hopefully. He'll be kind of like the cameraman.
Yeah.
And my support person.
Your emotional support person.
Yeah, because, okay, Nick is like, I'm going to go down, I'm going to do some solos and like go down here by myself. And I'm like, if Dustin's not there, I'm going to be by myself. Like, I'm not doing that.
Okay, so I'll probably only do solos when Dustin's there to babysit Lexi.
Thank God.
Look, I understand. You don't want to.
Who knows? Maybe I'll get some courage, but probably not.
These locations are scary, but the real world's scary too. So like, you don't even want to sit in the car by yourself. You know what I mean? So I totally understand. But we're like I said, we're gonna wing it. We'll get some. I'll do some solo stuff.
Well, stay tuned because we got a lot coming up. We actually have, and I'm not going to tell you the locations, but we will be going back to back. Actually. 3 nights.
Yeah, back to back to back.
To doing 3 different locations in the area. Yeah. So I'll only say that. Mm-hmm. Maybe you guys can draw your conclusions based on the area that I live in, but there's a lot of places.
There is. I will say we're kind of starting a little light. There is. Yeah. We have some pretty cool places lined up. Like 1 or 2 of them are a little bit smaller, less known and stuff like that. We're not jumping quite into the deep end yet, but we do plan on jumping into the deep end.
Yes.
But like I said, we're kind of novices, so. But to be fair, Waverly is kind of the deep end.
Yeah.
So we've already kind of kicked around there for a minute.
Yeah, we did already jump into the deep
end. A little bit, yeah. So
years ago.
We got to reacclimate ourselves. We got to get back in slowly. So.
Well, we also didn't really have any equipment.
Not much, no.
And not that we don't have a lot right now.
We got a couple things though. Yeah. We got some cool stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, we're really learning, and we're gonna figure it out along the way. But if there's any equipment that you guys have personally used that you're like, you guys should really invest in this next, definitely drop us a comment. Know. Yeah, let us know. And then where is in your opinion, the most haunted place in the United States? Or, I mean, if you don't live in the United States, let us know. Anywhere. Eventually, we might make it out of the country.
I mean, even if we don't go to some of these places, it's a podcast. We might even just want to talk about some cool places, that we might want to go in the future. But literally any haunted experiences, paranormal experiences, anything.
Yeah, it doesn't even need to be at like a haunted location. Yeah. Like if something crazy happened to you in your own home, like we want to know about it. Yeah, just
let us know. We want to talk about all that kind of stuff. We're just fascinated in it. We want to dive more into it, learn about it, learn how to be better investigators, learn about the ins and the outs of it, and just hear people's experiences.
Yeah,
and have some of our own.
Oh, that part. But no, I am excited. As much as I'm like a little scaredy cat, I think it's going to be fun. And I'm just wondering if it's going to like at all shift our perspective on death.
Yeah, I was joking with people when I left at work. I was like, I might come back a changed person. Like if I have like a profound experience, like. Well,
I mean, honestly, I would say Waverly did kind of have that effect on me.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, and we don't need to like necessarily talk about religion or anything, but that kind of like goes into like just your beliefs of what happens when you die. And there's such a more broad spectrum after what we experienced there that I think did kind of change my perception of the afterlife. And I've learned so much too, just about like energy.
Yeah.
And different things since then. So maybe that's a topic that we can kind of like hop into because it does relate. Okay, so I think that about wraps it up. We definitely will be doing longer episodes, but we just kind of wanted to introduce ourselves, let you guys know what this podcast is going to be about.
Exactly, get you a little bit hyped.
Yeah. Also, make sure that you guys follow us on all the other social media platforms. We will leave them linked. I'll leave them here on the screen for you, but especially TikTok, YouTube Shorts,
for sure,
and Instagram Reels. We do plan on putting out short clips of every podcast, of every investigation.
All of it.
Yeah, before it goes up.
Yeah. Some little sneak peeks.
Yeah, so if you are like just as excited as we are, make sure that you're following us over there. Again, like everywhere. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you're excited to see, where you want us to go.
You have any ideas for like what you think cool formats would be and stuff? We're open to everything. Like I said, we're kind of molding this as we go along. We have a loose outline of it, but we're open to change. So, and if you do snipe the location we're at from a clip, comment it below. We might not spoil it for you, but just for the people who know places, you might be like, oh, I know where that is.
Yeah, I think that would actually be cool too, to like see if people know where we are, just not even based on
like, you know, like a 60-second clip of us talking about it or something without naming it. They're going to be like, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I like that. So yeah, if you can figure out the location, definitely try to spoil it, honestly.
Try to spoil it.
Go ahead. Please. I love that for us. But yeah, I think that's about it for us today. I think it was a good first podcast, and we're really excited.
I'm so hyped. Yeah.
So that's it for us today, guys, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace.